Old Grand-Dad Bonded Bourbon has a long history, dating back to the 1800s when it was first distilled by the Hayden family. The brand was named after Basil Hayden Sr. The family continued the distilling tradition for generations. The Old Grand-Dad brand has been through several ownership changes, including being owned by National Distilling during Prohibition. Here's a more detailed look at the history. 1840s, the first commercial distillery was established by the Hayden family. In 1882, Old Grand-Dad was first bottled. In 1899, the brand was sold to the Wathen family, who later formed the American Medicinal Spirits Company and the National Distillers Group. Prohibition. During Prohibition, Old Grand-Dad was produced as medicine whiskey, and in the 1980s, Jim Beam acquired Old Grand-Dad. Presently, Old Grand-Dad is owned by Beam Suntory and is a part of their Olds collection. Old Grand-Dad Bonded Bourbon is a significant part of the history of American bourbon. The bottled and bond designation ensures specific standards for its production. The bottled and bond designation means the bourbon is aged for at least 4 years, bottled at 100 proof, and distilled and bottles at the same distillery. Old Grand-Dad remains one of the USA's 10 best-selling straight whiskeys. It comes in 3 different bottling proofs: 80 proof, 100 proof, bottled and bond, and 114 barrel proof. In a short height bottle gift package. In 2013, the lower proof offering went from 86 proof to 80 proof. Since 1992, Beam has also marketed another brand of Kentucky bourbon, Basil Hayden's, named after the same person. Old Grand-Dad is praised by bartenders and bourbon drinkers alike for being one of the best bottom shelf bourbons on the market. With its humble price tag and distinctive rye spice notes, the Beam Suntory-owned brand is a classic choice for bourbon drinkers, both old and new. The brand's origins date back to the early days of Kentucky bourbon making, when a historic bourbon maker known for his high-rye whiskeys introduced his son, and eventually grandson, to the business. From this family, Old Grand-Dad was born.
Welcome back to another episode of the Poor Guy Whiskey Review. I'm Jeff Moore, your host, and this is the bottle we are going to review. This is one I haven't heard of. I mean, I've had Old Grand-Dad a bunch of times, but never bottled and bond. So this is kind of a cool thing. It's 100 proof. I'm used to the 114, but there are some good things and bad things about 114, the Grand-Dad. But I wanted to, I have, as you can see, I've sampled a little bit of this. I do some research. Anyways, so why don't we get to this? Bottled and bond in accordance with Old Grand-Dad himself and the U.S. government. All right. Let's get real. What is happening? That is considerably different than what I was expecting. When you go back to back, it's a good idea. Like, I have a different rye that I tried before this. And this is not a rye, but I had a rye that I tried. It smells really sweet. Very sweet. Okay. Checking the legs at 100 proof. Now, if you ever drink low proof offerings from anyone, you'll see the legs and they'll just start to break apart, and then you'll get these beads on the sides of the glass. I'm just kind of waiting to see if this happens, but I don't think so. I think this is they have pretty nice streamers coming down. It's got a lighter color than what I would expect. It's 4 years old, minimum, obviously. It's bonded. So it's like I say this in almost all of my reviews. There is definitely like a tobacco it's not real sweet, so there's not a lot of confectionery sugar or anything like that. It's like baking spice and leather. On the nose, it's not too hot as far as alcohol, burning your nose or anything. So on the nose, it doesn't really give up. It kind of holds its cards a little bit close to the chest, if you ask me. I'm struggling to define the characteristics of the nose. I'm getting sweet tea and spices, baking spice, a little leather, maybe a little tobacco. I think a lot of bourbons are like that. Price point on this is about $22 to $24, I believe. And it's a pretty good bang for the buck. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't come in hot. It doesn't have like that big burn that you'd think you'd get from a 100 proof bottle. It does have a lot of the characteristics of something that would punch above its weight class. And this one, you can tell it's been cut, obviously, down quite a bit. I wonder what it would have been. I often ask myself that, because it's still, you get that, that ethanol, not the ethanol, but the alcoholic dissipation, that burn, or the that part that lacks character, that thing that lingers, could be, it's not black pepper, it's just a spice note that kind of hangs around on your tongue. It's not very viscous. It's not a one-trick pony either. I mean, you're getting a few notes for sure. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward experience, in my opinion. There's, like I said, there's no key things. It's not like super nutty, or it's not nutty at all, actually. I'm not a big fan of nutty bourbons. So let's talk about, would I buy this again? I'm sure it's something that's on most people's mind when they buy a bottle. Is this, boy, I hope it's good. If you've never had it. I've had, like I said, I've had the 114, but I never had the bottled in bond. And I'd say it's pretty solid. I don't know about on a scale of 1 to 10, but I would definitely buy it again if I was entertaining and I had guests over or whatever and we wanted to sip a little. I might even buy one specifically for an infinity barrel or a bottle, an infinity bottle. I can't afford an infinity barrel, but you maybe get some of these and use that for that. Great for mixers. I know they'd be good in a mixer. Just like this one here. The old Overholt, 4 years. That is also a nice little rye that I just reviewed. And these are both basically in the same price range, which is cool because I don't want to spend all that money on fancy bourbons. And if I do, they're never the kind that you could go to, like, say, drive to Kentucky, you know, stay in a hotel, go to a distillery, buy a bottle there or whatever. This is strictly run-of-the-mill stuff. Now, if I want to get really good bourbon, we do have tons of excellent distilleries here in Wisconsin that I'd like to focus on. But this is for my friends out there and whoever's out there that likes a decent little nip for not a lot of money. This would be great for a hunting trip or a fishing trip. Old Grand-Dad 10. This is basically a mellowed out, more respectable bourbon than 114. That's a party right there. But anyway, this right here is a winner in my book. Would I buy it again? Hell yeah, I would. I think it's an amazing $22 bottle. I mean, I've tasted bottles that were way more than this. So would I buy this again? I would, definitely. This is something that you want to keep around the house. You know, like you could do you could add this to your infinity barrel and it would not upset the mix, I guarantee. But, oh man. The longer it sits in the glass, it changes. It's smelling a little sweeter at this point. Definitely. It's definitely a little sweeter as it opens up. There's that little bit of that confectionery. I'm getting that tobacco. Yeah, that's really nice. Well, so this is a really good daily drinker if you're a daily drinker. If you're not, this is fine. That's even better because then you won't be spending all that money. So I would drink more if I spent more. For some reason, that was the big thing with me. I'd always find these really nice bottles, but I'd much rather spend all of my money, my free money. If I'm going to buy bourbon, I'd rather buy local bourbons for me because we have great distilleries out here in Wisconsin. But that being said, $22, $24, something like that. Under 25, let's just say that. This little bottle right here is a winner. It's a keeper all day long. I don't know what I'd score it at, 1 to 10, probably a 7, 6.5, 7. It punches way above its weight class. So with that, I'm going to say definitely a buyer. If you can find the Old Grand-Dad bottled and bond, or bonded, as they say, I'd pick one up. So that's it, everyone. I'm Jeff Moore, and this is the Poor Guy Whiskey Review, helping you make all your poor decisions. See you on the next one.